Okay guys, this is our official door skin install video. This video will show you how we prep the door, how to align your pieces, what tools you can use. It's a really simple install, so we're not going to have a ton of tools, but just positioning so that everything kind of lines up, so that when you do install your kit, the whole thing looks cohesive. So to start out, we clean the whole surface with like a degreaser, making sure that there's no food. Like if you have kids, and this, like Craig's had a lot of stuff on it, we went through, cleaned them out really well, made sure all the degreaser was off. And then the last step, you're gonna get some alcohol. You're gonna spray it on the pieces themselves, just to make sure we got all the last little bits of everything before we start our install. And what I like doing is, after that, I want to make sure there's no moisture anywhere. So we're actually going to heat up the surface just slightly. We have our kit ready to go. All the kits will come labeled with numbers and a full install guide on how to do this. This is if you don't want to read the instructions, you got YouTube University. So we're going to get the kits out, we're going to lay them right here on the table, and then we're going to start installing. Okay, so this is a custom one we did for our 4-hour wrap shop. We also have all of our regular designs on the website, but we're going to start out with the bottom piece here for this door panel. Down here, I'll kind of tack this up short. Your main point is going to be right here. You're going to make sure that this lines up perfectly with the curves, like that, and that's going to be your first tack up point. Then you're going to come this way. You can go down, pull it just slightly, tack there. Then you're going to come up here. You're going to kind of tack it as you roll up slightly. Then this right here is going to line up almost perfectly. So now you got these 2 points tacked in. And this point, watch this. And then you can kind of fine tune it. This material is still stretchable, or malleable, I guess. Okay. Now that the speaker is set, you just kind of work your way around it. You're not going to need a knife or a squeegee. If you would prefer to use a squeegee, you can, but it's definitely not needed for this installation. Once you got this guy fully tacked on, you can pull this out to the point that you have there. You're going to line it up at the bottom of the door. Okay, and then you're going to start in the middle. You're just going to kind of press down. Then once you get to the bottom of this like little whoop right here, you can set that side down, press it out, just like that. Okay, now what we're going to do, go like this. Okay, and then right here, you're going to see a little bit of tension right here where it like almost doesn't want to sit. You can actually just push down and it's going to seat itself, and then you just kind of work your fingers into it like that, just like that. Okay, we do have the heat gun, so that this vinyl, when you do have it finally set, I recommend using a heat gun and post-heating everything to 185 degrees. That will allow for everything to kind of set up and seal. I prefer installing these kits with my hands because I can feel where everything kind of is setting, and you'll feel exactly where you might have like a bubble or anything like that. Now that this piece is done, I'm going to go down here, kind of shrink up and seal all of the edges. Next piece, let's do this one. I set it straight down. I'm gonna set the bottom like that. Okay. And this, lift up, just like that. Okay. You can see all the lines, how they all line up now. Then I'll grab the heat gun real quick. Heat the edges. This right here is going to be the hardest piece, so we're going to do the cup holder piece next. Okay, this being the hardest piece, you're going to line this corner up here in the edge, and then you're going to leave about 1/8 of an inch between the top of this and the crease of that. Something like that. Boom. Just like that. And then you're going to work your way through the middle, kind of like this. Okay. Okay. Now we got the center all set, and then you're just going to kind of work your way out. Just like this. And if you get a crease in here, that is all right. Okay.
No creases, bro.
Yeah, no creases. And then it'll all just kind of set in there. Just like so. Then I'm always going to post heat this one really well because there is a lot of curvature on this one. So you want to make sure to heat it, and you'll see it like pull all the air bubbles out as you're going, and it'll even like some of the creases and creases that you may have created. This heat gun's going to pull it all out. This piece, you're just going to line it up. You can see where they kind of butt together, and I leave about 1/8 of an inch of a gap, kind of like that. Just a little bit. Set the bottom and then just kind of work your way up, pushing everything into its spot. Just like that. Once it's set, we'll grab our heat gun. Yeah, our reference point for this one is going to be right here in this crack. Just like that. Once you have that piece tacked, I'll typically pull this all the way out. I'll set this edge. Just like that. Squeeze out and down. Okay. And this one right here, kind of float it in. Then what I'll do before I set that piece, you want to come out here and make sure this is all lined up. Okay, make sure this is all kind of lined up. I'll even just pull it a little bit. Give it just a little bit of tension. Make sure that piece falls into place. Then once that center is tacked, then you're just going to work your way up and it'll just kind of seat itself. Okay. Right here, go down in the middle. Like that. These kits are crazy easy to install. Critical points of making sure that your post heating are going to be right up here at the head. Right in here, this is what we'd call a high traffic area because you're going to be bumping into this frequently. So just make sure you're heating all these spots. Next is the door handle. The reference point is going to be down here in the corner. Okay, I'll tack that, come across right here. Tack this. This will kind of like, I won't push into that piece. I'll curve this piece down, kind of like that. I'll curve it down and it'll actually pull this piece up so that it seats just how you want it. The biggest indicator on this one is going to be making sure it's tacked right here on this lower portion. Basically there's like a flat piece and then it starts to curve down and the vinyl wants to sit right on that edge. Then you center it up between these two pieces, tack that, and then you're going to push it in right there, down, okay, and then you're just going to keep on pressing down and it'll seat itself. You get something like that, you just press down on it, okay, and then it'll just kind of curve into itself. You hit this curve too, and these kind of keep on working your way out with it. If you get a little bit of something like that, you can just pull it a little bit, lift it up, and it'll seat itself. If you want it to kind of go a certain way, push into there like that. Okay. Perfect. Okay, this one is an important one to post heat as well, especially down in these sections. Same thing, center it up. The other vinyl, kind of make it fall right off that ledge. There's a flat piece before it starts kind of curving in. I'd tack it there, curve it down. Goes in just like that, and it'll line up itself on the top. Okay, you're gonna grab it. Your centering piece is gonna be your two modules. So if you can center it right over the top of them, I think it's going to line up perfectly. Wow. Snagged it. Okay. And then you just kind of squeegee it on. This piece, I would lift a little bit and pull out just to make sure that it is all lining up correctly. Kind of squeegee out. And grab your heat gun. Boom. Check that out.
Money.
This was already cleaned really heavily before we did this install to make it go a little easier. Same thing, you're gonna start tack right down here first. Just like that. You're gonna pull this one. I'm gonna come down here. That's tacked on. Kind of line it up at the bottom of the door. This one doesn't have the wavy little divot that the driver has. If you do run into like these like little triangles or little pizzas, you push on the head of the pizza or the point, and they'll kind of work themselves out, kind of like that. And if they aren't wanting to work themselves out, grab a heat gun, heat it up, it'll shrink up just a little bit, and then you let it cool, and then after you let it cool, you can actually just push them down. Line up your stripes is priority. See that we lined it up right there. And I typically will tack right here in the middle. Okay. Squeegee out the top. Okay, and then right here in the bottom, you're gonna push right down. Well, first I tack this right here. Okay, and then you're just gonna work this side down. There's a crack in it, just for separation. Okay, then you come across. And then go right down the middle. Okay, so now we're gonna do this piece. Same thing, you're gonna line it up in here. I always kind of use this as a reference point. If I can like butt it up against it. Tack it, make sure this is down close there, so I'll tack that piece. Like, well, I'll do this, let's work my way across in the middle. Making sure it's fully pressed down. And once you get the middle tacked, it's pretty easy then to squeegee kind of everything out. Stuff like this where it wants to like fight you, heat it up a little bit, let it cool for about a second. You don't want to get it too hot. Too hot, it turns into like gum. If you end up with something like that, you can use a little razor blade and trim it. And this piece, pull out. And you're just kind of like pressing it all in, just making sure there's no bubbles. This piece, you're gonna do the smaller piece first. Like that. Okay. And then the bigger piece goes above it. So I didn't push this one down completely far enough. So there's a little bit sitting on the top, which we're gonna have to trim, which is completely okay. This is the hardest piece to mount stuff to. Boom. Reference point for this one was 1/8 of an inch of a gap, and then you kind of can see how they line up with each other. This one, same thing as the front. You're gonna use this little back thing right here as your reference point. So I was tack that one first, and then I roll all the way right here, like that. I'll pull this out just slightly, tack it at that point. Put my hand down the middle. Of all of our vinyl stuff, I'd say this stuff is the most forgiving and is also the most sticky, but will not adhere to itself unless you add a lot of pressure. So you can mess up, pull it off, put it back on. Like, you can do that a few times before these are gonna lose their adhesion. We're gonna use our trim removal tool. Typically we'll come down here, or even right here, kind of slip it underneath it, turn it sideways, pops it up. I think this one will be able to get rid of. Thank you. Gosh. Put it in the corner, squeeze it to that point. I'll lay down the flat part and then work my way out this way. And this just lays down flat. good. Okay, let's do this lower section. On this piece, you're gonna line up everything right there. So you're gonna tack and then kind of push down. That way everything else lines up to the corner. Then this part, bring it down just a little bit. Tack this curve really well. Boom. Went on really good. This one. Yay.
How's it going?
That went great. Last piece for the door itself, before we do the door handle, I'm just going to line it up with the other one, maybe with a little bit of a gap. Bring this out. That. This up here. I kind of lined these two up, kind of felt out the top section, and then by squeegeeing these in, okay. We're done. Now we just need to do this last little piece. Again, last piece. We're just gonna center the switch. Just like that. Boom. Get this guy plugged back in. Awesome. Okay guys, so this ends our install video. If you have any questions, shoot us an email at support@tacovinyl.com or leave us a comment down below. But hope you guys like these door skins. Primary focus, the plastic on these doors are delicate, so why not protect them? These kits are available on our website. Down in the caption below, you can pick them up. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks.